Alright, so the last time I made a 3D scene inspired by Studio Ghibli, it was this one. It was super fun, totally original, and a lot of you seemed to enjoy it. If you haven't seen it yet, there is a little eye up there. You can go and check it out. And today we're making this cozy little grassland scene, just something simple and relaxing. Flowers, a little path, a pond, nothing too crazy, but still really satisfying to build. I'm going to show you how I made it step by step in Blender, starting from scratch. As you can see, I have its blend file opened right here. So to get a little look about it, as you can see, I'm in rendered viewport. That means this will be kind of the final render unless I apply some compositing. That's heavy for now, so that will may stop OBS from recording. And anyways, and as you can see in this video, we will see how we are going to create this insanely cool effect where grass and flowers like seamlessly blend into the plane or into the ground, and also how to make like this cool shading, okay, because I'm using cell shader that used for NPR, non-photorealistic stuff, and actually that blend well. And also we are going to use kind of image texture, and also this scene is whole animated. You may seen that in the intro, but anyways, that's really cool. If we jump into the solid viewport, we can see a bunch of planes, which is the wind effect. I saw that in a game and I like it, and why not? And also a cool thing that all of these flowers and grass is following the camera. If I turn on my overlays and select my camera, if I move my camera, let's look at the camera, pin it to the view. As you can see, as I'm moving, everything is facing the camera, and that's amazing. That's the whole effect that I want. When I move my camera, everything will track to it, because all of these are just 2D planes. And okay, sorry. So all of these models are just 2D, not full 3D. Just these flowers that seems to be 3D, but everything else is just 2D, just with simple basic modeling. So I have these as a reference, okay? So I'm going to start by modeling some grass. So model with me. I'm going to show you little tricks when you are modeling some props or assets for your scenes, like I have right now. So these are further away from the 3D cursor, and their selectability is turned off, so I'm not going to accidentally select them. How to do that? You can just go to the filter icon and enable the selectability, and you can disable it. It is by default enabled, and you can just disable it and create a new collection and name it for me grass models, and go to the orthographic view by pressing numpad 1. So you can just go to the front view. As you can see, I have the screencast keys turned on. Someone asked me about them, and my Blender version somehow didn't allow me, or I have no idea. It wasn't working, but right now it is working. Pretty good. Anyways, for modeling these, I like to be in wireframe viewport, so press Shift Z to go to the wireframe viewport, Shift N, and start by modeling with planes. So rotate it by 90 degrees, Control A, apply the scale. I should have just rotated that in edit mode, but anyways, go to edit mode right now by pressing tab, GZ, and move it up. So I'm going to start by modeling this big one. So first G and move it to the side. And actually, I should have scaled it, or wait, weird thing. So anyways, I'm just going to move them manually, GX, and slide it. And you can just model like so, and just extrude like so. You can extrude again, you can select these, you can extrude, you can scale and move, but that will take some time. So E again, scale, and go here and scale. You can scale to 0. So just select these S 0. That's pretty good. And instead of modeling all of these, because they are the same, I'm going to select everything, Shift D, G, X, and C. Yeah, that looks good. And something new in this version 4.1, you might have 4.4 or 4.5, but anyway. You can press G, B to select this vertex and snap it. You might need to zoom in, anyways, and snap it to this vertex. That will snap correctly. You can select the other one, G, B, and snap it like just to connect these, G, B. But they are still isn't connected, so press A to select everything, M, and merge by distance. That will connect these vertices. Okay, and now just move these to the side. Yeah, so like this. Again, you can select this one. You can select faces actually this time. Shift D and move it. You can scale to Z axis, and you can just snap again, GB. Yeah, something like this. Select this and snap it. This one also. Snap it like this. And just move these manually, like so. Perfect. A again, select everything, M, and merge by distance. Again, you can select this one in the face select mode. Shift D, move it. You can actually deselect this one and scale it along Z axis, make it long, and you can just move it, like go to the vertex select mode, select these vertices, move them up, move these to the side like so, move these down. You can play with the rotation of them. Yeah, this seems to be pretty easy. If you need some resolution, you can press Ctrl B to add a loop cut like this. You can move this one, snap it, this vertex. It might be not correct, but you know, just do that. Yep, something like this. You can select this one, E to extrude, and scale. E to extrude. You might just move E to extrude, E to extrude, extrude this a lot. Select this one, scale. Actually, I'm going to get rid of these. Scale these one to 0. To the side. Move this. Very good. And now A to select everything. M, merge by distance. To make sure they are merged, press L. Yeah, it is linked. Very good. Now I'm going to select this vertex. Press S. Oh, but first, make sure you have your pivot point sets as the 3D cursor, and select these two. Press SX0, and that will make them flat or flush with this Z line. Now press A to select everything. Shift D, SX -1. That will flip it to the other side. And select this vertex. Press Ctrl plus to add to the selection. X delete vertices because I don't need that. And select these, M merge at center. Do the same thing for these. Okay, A select everything and merge by distance. Very good. Nothing is duplicated. Again, make sure your pivot point sets as medium point, or you can just switch it from. And as you can see, this is the result. Oh, we have a problem. So what is that problem? I believe it is with that snapping. Again, right click, pivot point sets to the 3D cursor, SY0, that will move them back. A to select everything, M merge by distance, and yeah, that's been fixed. Very good. As you can see, it's low poly, but that's good. Just leave it as is. For these ones, I added subdivision surface that made them a bit smooth. As you can see, it's to level of 1, but in the render it says to 2. That was a huge mistake for me. That lagged my scene a lot, so don't do the same mistake that I did and just leave it as is. You will never notice that because it's gonna blend seamlessly with the ground. Now to model the other ones, just pretty easy. I'm just going to start with this small little one. Select it, add the 3D cursor right there. Again, Shift Z, Shift A, plane, and edit mode, RX 90 degrees. So we'll scale it, select everything, scale it down. So like this, GZ, hold Control to snap it to the grid, and just model it as you can see it. And voila, that's it, how you can model it. Okay. And something that I did by mistake, just move it up again to the... And now we need to model the other one. The same technique. Snap the 3D cursor right. It will snap to the surface for some reason. I don't know. Should I add a plane? Tap to go to edit mode and rotate it 90 degrees. Move it to the side here. Now scale everything down and then GZ, hold control and just snap it. Very good. Move this. You might need some resolution. Control R, add the loop cut like this. Move this like this, like so. Select E to extrude, G move, E to extrude again, G move, E to extrude, scale, E to extrude, S0. Yeah, something like this. That will make it pointy, but don't worry about that. The same trick, select everything, Shift D, move it, scale along the Z axis, stretch it, move it, select these, move them like this, select these, move them, press GB, again G, select this, snap it to this, perfect, and snap this one to this one, snap this one to this one. You might need some resolution. Control R, like so, move this one like so. So now, after you model this, select this vertex, Shift S, and cursor to selected, and make sure you have the pivot points set to the 3D cursor. Select everything, Shift D, SX -1 to flip it to the other side, and you can squeeze it a little bit like so. As you can see, that's pretty good. You can unselect these. You can press G, X, and move it to the side. Actually, you can deselect these ones, and you can just move it again. It's pretty good. Select this one. Doesn't need to be perfect. Make sure the pivot point is sets to medium point. You can snap this vertex, GB, snap it, snap this one, snap these or just M, something like this. Move this to the other side. You can just keep shaping it. So after you're done, A, M, merge by distance, pretty good. Now, after I modeled these three, what I'm going to do, I'm going to select this one, Shift select this one, Shift D, and move them to the side, and I'm going to merge them in a certain way. I'm going to select this half, X delete vertices, and I'm going to select, for instance, let's select this half. Okay, so like this, X, delete vertices. I'm going to select this one, G, X, and move it to the side. Maybe I'm going to enable my proportional editing. Okay, something like so. Rotate again. Yeah, something like this. And you can just move this side, something like that. Select these maybe. X, delete vertices, delete vertices. Select everything and move it to side. G, snap this to this. Maybe the other way. Snap this to here. Snap this. Snap this. This one, snap it to here. Pretty good. Maybe again, just move it. That will make a whole new one. Select everything, M, merge by distance. And select their bottom vertices, Shift S, cursor selected. Now go away, tab to go to object mode. Go to object, set origin to the 3D cursor. That will move their 3D, their origin to the 3D cursor. And again, something that I'm missing. Maybe I haven't merged. Again, select everything, SY0 to flatten them. Select everything and Control J. I forgot to join them. M, merge by distance. Okay, they are joined. Maybe something right there is weird. Rather is weird. Yeah, these aren't merged, and now they are merged. Okay, very good. So their origin right now is in the bottom. Yes, it is in the bottom. Very good. That's good. Let's do the same for the other ones. Yeah, their origin in the bottom. And we need to do everything for the other ones. As you can see, this one is already good. This one too is already good. So yeah, very good. This one, yeah, it is in the ground. Very good. So for these grass, it is done for them. So we need to do the same for the flowers. So for the flowers, it is pretty easy. It is just um, some spheres, or you can just, yeah, it is just a circle and some things extruded from them. So as you can see, if we have like 6, yeah, it is just 12 vertices circle, I believe, and some leaves are extruded from it. Okay, very good. Let's disable the selectability for it. Let's select this collection, or maybe move it to its own. Let's name it flower. Very good. And let's start by making this base. Shift A, add plane, rotate it 90 degrees on the x-axis, and just move it up. Scale it down a little, like so. Maybe scale it more, and just move this down. You can just follow this. Very good. Even though it's pretty bad, it's good. And keep extruding, and just make sure. Not perfectly, but you know, in a certain way. Yeah, that's pretty good. And we can now extrude from this, like this leaf shape, extrude, scale, rotate, scale again, E to extrude, scale down, E to extrude, scale down again, E to extrude, S0. And we need to do the same for this one. E to extrude, E to extrude, scale up. Very good. As you can see, we have. Let's select this top vertices, Shift S cursor selected, and tab away so it's not selected. Shift A and add circle, and let's make sure this circle is 12 vertices. Tab to go to edit mode, RX 90 degrees, and scale it down like this. And we might need to select these vertices. Maybe let's add loop cut like this, loop cut like this. Go to the vertex select mode, select all of these, X delete vertices, just leave these, okay? I'm going to double G to slide this one, select this one, double G to slide it, very good. And I'm going to go to edge select mode, select these edges, E to extrude, scale up, E to extrude, scale up, E to extrude, scale up, rotate a little bit, maybe scale down, E to extrude, scale down, E to extrude, scale down, E to extrude, and scale down. Something like this. Make sure the pivot point is set to 3D cursor. Tab to go to edit mode again. Edge select everything, Alt E, and then do spin. And make sure the use duplicates is turned on. And make sure the duplicates is as low as it can a bit fill. Maybe something like this, even though it feels a bit like yeah, it feels a bit weird, but we are going to modify. So yeah, select these, oh yeah, we have a duplicate here. I'll select that, X vertices first. Okay, now select these two, M as center, select these, Shift R to repeat the same last action, Shift R, Shift R, Shift R. And now H select everything, but before that, these are intersecting with each others. Let's make it looks more good. Maybe select this one, enable proportional editing, make sure it is a bit small, but first let's make it medium point. I know that feels weird, but you know, it's good, it's good, it's good. No worries, no worries. It's good. Let's disable the other flower from the reference. Now H select everything, M merge by distance. Okay, nothing is duplicated. That's perfect. Go to the edge select mode, select these loops, these edges, okay? And then press Ctrl F and grid fill. Make sure to play a little bit with this span. Maybe let's press just F, I to inset. Just move this. Wait, we can press X delete faces. Select that, Ctrl F, and now grid fill. That's not how. So how many vertices are in here? So let's count first. We have 20 20 vertices. So Shift A and add circle of 20 vertices, RX 90 degrees, scale it down, and now select these X, delete vertices and measure them by distance, and hold Alt and Shift and select these, right click, and bridge edge loops. Okay, that's feel good. And we have directed that to be good. Now Control F and grid fill. Okay, that's pretty good. Now I'm going to select this face with proportional editing is turned on, and I'm going to just bump it up. Make sure the influence or the make sure that is moved to a certain direction, like the y-axis for me. Yeah, that feels good. And actually, you can deform some of these faces if you can select random stuff. Yeah, you can just make it be random, and you can shade it smooth. Make it smoothly. You can actually pivot around the 3D cursor and rotate it a little bit, so it is facing that way. You can just leave it as is, actually. You don't need to add anything else. So that's a cool flower. That looks good. You can select them both, Ctrl J to join, and you can name it flower. I haven't named my grass, so let's name them. Flower first, disable it, enable these grasses, select them all, Ctrl F2, type, set name, new, let's name them grass, and it should name them all of them by grass. Pretty good. So grass, grass 1, grass 2, 3, etc. That's pretty good. And now I'm going to select my references, select all of them, select objects, X delete objects, Shift C to return my 3D cursor into the metal. And now let's see what I'm going to recreate again. So the next thing to create is this rocky path, okay? I'm not going to bother myself by modeling because I already did that. What's the point of these? I just showed you how to create the most important stuff, grasses and flowers. And I will leave this one for you to practice on it. I'm going to leave the screenshot if you want to practice that from the top view. So you can just model from this one. You can just, I'm just going to simply show to you how to do that. Add a simple cube. Make sure this cube is above this, and you can basically shape it the size you like. Okay, but I need to select this one. You might add to it a subdivision surface if you like. Okay, anyways, as you can see, you can add some loop cuts. You can add another loop cut, actually add another loop cut, and you can shape it how you like. So from this other side, select these, GZ, add a loop cut in the middle, Control B that, just to make it sound like this. And as you can see, we have successfully created that thing. You can apply this sub D surface. As you can see, that looks pretty good. Yeah, this really looks good. You can just duplicate it from now on, or before applying this sub D, so you can tweak it really easily. You can just duplicate that to make these smaller ones. Maybe duplicate it right here. Go to edit mode, select that, go to edit mode, scale it down, make sure that the pivot point sets to medium point, and just select these, scale it, add this to here. So as you can see, we have created this smaller one, and you can make how many you like, so, and level them to be at the same height, because this one is pretty small. It should be like so. And you can, from now, you can just keep duplicating these, rotating them, make sure their origin at their geometries. You can rotate them like so. Make one of them different by just moving some of these. This smaller one, make it more small. So duplicate it. Shift D, RZ 180, RXY something 100. Yeah, something like this. Yeah, something like this. So you know how to make this. It's just pretty easy. I'm just going to leave it for you to recreate. So basically right now we created the details or the props or the things that we are going to use. And something else that I'm going to leave for you to model is this pond, okay? I'm just going to show you the principle of how to make it in a circle like this, but you are going to model this one for on your own, sorry. Shift A, okay, first let's Shift A and add cube. Control A, apply the transforms. So basically you have this one. Shift A and add curve circle. Scale it up. Control A, apply all the transforms. Yeah, something like this. Now select this one and add to it an array. Add a little bit of offset, some count to it, you know, doesn't matter how many you like. Like we have 2, 4, like we have 13, for example. So we have 13 of these, and add to it a curve modifier, and select R. Sometimes it looks weird, so don't worry about that. Select this one and scale it down, okay, something like this, and maybe apply this, maybe scale it along the x-axis, something that seems to be weird, something like that. Scale it along the x-axis, scale along the z-axis. You can actually, before add an array, add to a bevel. Before adding array, make the bevel a little bit small, something like this. Yeah, make it a little bit big. And now select both the curve and the pond, scale it down, and that's how you are going to make this one. But for this one, I just did some sculpting. As you can see, I just sculpted few details here and there just to make it bumpy and looks like a rock. But that doesn't matter because you are going for a stylized. Just distort some of its vertices. It is a bit long because of the array and the curve. Looks weird. So yeah. So now I have all my assets. I'm just going to move this one, move it to pond, this one. So now let's start by creating our grassland, because now we have all the assets. We need just to scatter them. So let's create a new collection, name it Grassland. Pretty good. And make sure the grass models are applied, their transforms and everything are in here. We will fix that later on if we have some problems in geometry nodes. Very good. And now select this new collection, Shift A and add a plane, scale it by, let's say 10 meters, apply its transforms, and let's add new geometry nodes modifier. Just switch to geometry nodes editor and create a new geometry nodes modifier. What we need is a distribute points on faces node to distribute some points randomly, or you can, this other one, poison disk or what, just like this random one. And what I need is instance on points to instance these grass stuff. But first, you can see the plane is disappeared because the group input is changed to this distribute points and faces and instance on points. We need to merge it back with this one to have it appearing. So hold Control and Shift and right click and select that. That will merge. Add a join geometry. You can add it manually. Join geometry. Add it like this. Add it and join this one. Move this down here. What we need to instance is our grass models. So drag and drop and make sure to connect that to the instances. As you can see, all of them are big. We need to scale them down. To scale them, we are going to use a scale instances node. You can actually scale them from the instance on points, but I don't want that. Let's scale the real instances. So let's scale them. You can actually use a value node. You have the possibilities. So scale them like so. Like this is a good amount. Maybe scale them more a little bit. Yeah, that's good. And while we are here, as you can see, everything is duplicated because we haven't separated our childrens and resetted them, and also pick instances. That will pick instances randomly. Pretty good. Now we need to do the same thing with the other flower. Okay, so let's do the same. Create a new setup like this. Connect that. Use the same node setup, but let's switch it to flower. This is turn it off. Use instance and join the geometry. The scale. Yeah, I haven't specified its origin, so let's turn on. This is the flower. Select it Tap to go to edit mode, Shift Z, select the bottom vertices, Shift S and cursor selected. Tab out, go to object, origin to the 3D cursor. As you can see, it appears like this. Now turn off the collection. Select back our plane. You can scale it up a little bit. Yeah, scale it up. And it's a bit going this way. Maybe the model is no. So what's happening? What's wrong with that? Let's make sure applied every transform. Yeah. And make sure we have a different seed for that. And also different value for the density. So we have just a few of them, not too. Very good. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create that pad that goes like this. Yeah, that goes like so. So to create it, we're going to use that, and let's scale it accordingly. But first, let's add to it an array. Let's add to it an array to the axes. So let's add 1 here and 0 for the x. And you can add how many you like. That's pretty good. And while selecting this, Shift S cursor selected, Shift A and add a lattice. Scale it up, might be the reason. So let's add, scale it accordingly, like this. Scale it now. Yeah, pretty good. So let's add to it 7 cuts again. Yeah, that's perfect. And now let's select the lattice. It's hard to see. Set that to both. Yeah, now we can see better actually. Yeah, that looks good. Now tap to go to edit mode. Actually, you can select all the vertices, enable this proportional editing, and you can select these and specify them to single axes like G, Shift Z, so you can exclude Z, so it's not going above and do like weird stretching. You can rotate actually. That's pretty good. Now we have the path. So what we are going to do, we have some stretching right there. Let's move this up a little bit. We have a bit of stretching. I don't know what's happening. What's wrong with it? So anyways, now we have that path. I want to remove the grass from that path. Okay, so how to do that? We are going to use attributes. Actually, we are going to use vertex groups using the weight painting. I know it feels a bit weird and a bit hard for a beginner, but remember, weight painting or texture painting are all the same. You are painting. So what's we are painting? We are going to paint a data to tell Blender which parts are going to be free and which parts will have the grass. Okay, which parts are going to be empty and which will have grass. So let's go to the top view so we can do that better. And also what I'm going to do, I'm going to right click and add some geometry, because weight painting or texture painting needs geometry. So right click, subdivide, and let's add like 50 and reduce the amount of these like to 5 or even 4, and the other ones to like 6. So we have few. Select the plane again and turn off the geometry nodes modifier. Control tab and switch to weight painting, or you can just click here and go to the weight painting. Okay, very good. As you can see, now we are painting with weight of 1. That means we are going to paint with red, and a value of 0 will erase, and F will increase the brush size. Shift F will increase the fall off of that brush. Very good. F2 decrease its radius and value of 1. We need to paint with value of 1. Now let's select the path. We are going to do the same with the pond, so don't worry about it. So let's select that. Yeah, pretty good. And actually, you can smooth that out with a blur brush. So we can blur this attribute, or we can do it actually in geometry nodes. Pretty good. Now we have created like an attribute to tell geometry nodes where to put the grass and where to don't put that. Now tab out object mode, enable back our geometry nodes. Now for that selection, I'm going to use named attribute, And what is the name of the attribute that we have? Let's go to the vertex group. Let's name it density, D for density. And let's locate it right here. So click, and as you can see, D, and select it. And as you can see, it should work. It should work. So what's the wrong? Maybe it's doing the opposite of that. Yeah, it's doing the opposite of that. So we need to flip it around. So let's add. So let's add map range to flip it around. So map range to flip. Let's do 1 to 0. Yeah, that flipped it, of course. To view that, Control Shift and click, and also here, Control Shift and click, maybe like this. And we are going to make it sharp a little bit. Yep, something like this. Let's remove now the viewer node. And let's see. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, that looks good. We have just a slight intersection, but that's good. We have another one. We might paint it again, just to make sure that we don't have anything. Let's do the same. Shift D, duplicate it, and use the same thing to the selection for the other ones. As you can see, voila, we have successfully created that. We might just adjust it a little bit. So let's turn that off. Why I'm turning that off? Because if I turn it on and go to weight painting, it might lag and might have some problems. So again, let's paint away. Yeah, as you can see, it's deleting. So yeah, it's really deleting. Tab out again, go to object mode. So that's pretty good. Maybe we have, please go away, go. Yeah, it goes. Pretty good. So now let's add the pond right there. But first let's add my camera. So Shift N, add a camera. And let's move the camera into camera collection. Camera. So call it camera. Let's select my camera to be in that position. Control Alt 0 to snap the camera to the view. And let's do 80 millimeters to start with. That's pretty zoomed in. G, and hold your middle mouse button so you can zoom out. You can actually pin the camera to the view to take a good view, actually, like this. Very good. And now I want these flowers to follow the camera so they are rotating with the camera. So how to do that? I'm going to select that. So let's do this with the grass first. So let's add first object info node, and let's target the camera, and let's add a position node. We are going to subtract the position of these instances from the position or location of that camera. So let's do that. Let's add subtract. So we are going to get the medium of this position, and I'm going to connect that through rotation. But right now we have weird thing. I'm connecting a vector data into a rotation data. But first, let's make this relative to the camera. So when I move, it will update. So right now we have weird things happening. They are just going all around. First, we need to specify an axis. So let's specify with combine XYZ node, and I want them to rotate along the Z axis. So they are going just to rotate like this. Let's connect that back to the rotation. Now we're doing good, actually, but still we're missing something. So as you can see, they are just randomly rotating. So we need to connect this through align Euler to vector, because Euler is the rotation data, actually. So let's connect this. It is not rotation, it is vector, so connect it to the vector socket. And maybe we need the Y. It's weird here. I have no idea. And connect the rotation into the Z. And as you can see, it will work. It should work. Maybe the Z. I have no idea. One of these, and it will work for you. Pivot point, leave it as auto. If you just play with it manually, it might have some problems. Yeah, maybe Z. Let's make it aggressive a little bit by adding a multiply node. and multiply this, or just leave it as is. So first, let's save this. I haven't saved it. Let's call it dot one for the tutorial version, and select the camera. Select it, F2, call it camera rotation. Very good. And let's use a setup up down. It's getting messy. Let's do an experimental thing. Let's remove this. Separate XYZ node and see. That looks better. That made it. Yeah, they are rotating, but they are rotating randomly. They're just going to the ground. So Control Z that. That feels good. Move this down. Now let's add the pond, which is this one. Let's select them both. And let's move it to its place. Let's move it, for instance, like, let's see it from the camera angle. Does it look good? Yeah, let's move it right there. That feels good to me. Move it up. Now, let's go back to the weight painting mode and let's paint away these grass. Okay, now let's go to the camera view. I need to fix this rotation as fast as possible because that makes me feels weird. Let's do Y, and here also do Y because I forgot to do that. Now they feel good. Is they are looking at me? Please do. Also here, make it aggressive. Let's just use Y as a pivot point, Z as a rotation. Do the same thing here. Yeah, now it feels good. Now it feels good, yeah. Now it feels really good. Now it's responsive. So now for this camera rotation, simple stuff that you need to adjust. Rotation is back to Z, pivot point is Y at this time. As for this multiply, let's use 2 for now. Do the same thing down here. It's the same thing. So now we have just chipped out these things from this pond. Now let's select and let's actually Shift A and add, let's do circle. Let's do 12 circle. Move it up, scale it down. Go to edit mode and F to fill it and move it down again. So this is gonna act like water. So now save, select our camera again, pin it to the view, pin it to the view, and let's have it looks like that. Actually, there is orthographic view, but that looks weird. Yeah, that looks really weird. Or yeah, oh, I like it like that. Yeah, that looks really good actually. Yeah, just leave as is. Yeah, that looks really good. So save. Now we are going to do picturing. So hold Z and go to material preview. So you are going to see everything. So basically you are going to see white. Now let's switch this from geometry nodes to shader editor. I'm going to start with simple stuff. This rock is done. Okay, so let's select this path, add to it material, call it path rock, like this, and let's add cell shader. So we're going to add diffuse, shader to RGB, and a color ramp. Color ramp sets to constant. Connect that to that, connect that to this. And we need just some colors to. So what colors we are going to use? So for this darker color, I'm going to use this color. This is the hex value for that. A5, 8A51. And for the other one, we are going to use this color, which is the hex value of CDA65B. Very good. Let's add the pond. Add to it a new material, call it pond. And let's copy these, Control C, and here Control V, and connect that. Basically that's it, and just you need to adjust it accordingly, and it is working by default, but when we are going to add some lighting, it will look. Now we're going to move on to the other props. Like, let's select the geometry nodes plane first, add to it a material, call it ground. Okay, very good. And let's go to geometry nodes and let's add set material and let's select ground material. Now let's go and add to the flower. Let's add to the flower some material. So let's name it flower base, and let's add a new material. Let's call it leaves, and another material. Let's call it circle, and let's go to the leaves, and I'm going to give them let's do diffuse, shader to RGB, color ramp. Yeah, actually add just a color ramp through an emission. Connect that to that, connect that. And let's use this color. Let's use this color. And let's use another color. Let's do pink. And let's make this constant. And I'm going to use some random values to drive these colors. So randomly they are going to be different colors. Tap to go to edit mode, and let's select this face. Ctrl plus to add to the selection, and Ctrl I to invert the selection. Go here, select the leaves and assign. As you can see right now, seems to be but when we are going to add attribute to drive this factor, it will change. For the circle, let's use an emission, and let's use this one but a darker. Tap to go to edit mode, Ctrl I to invert the selection, or maybe just select this one, Ctrl plus. Yeah, I did a mistake, I selected that by mistake. Anyways, select that, go to circle and assign it. Should be something like this. We can Ctrl plus it, assign it. Yeah, that seems to be good. And let's press L to select these linked ones, go to the base and assign it. For the base, to blend this one with the ground, we are going to do a little trick. Let's leave it to the end. Now let's hide the flower. Let's select the ground, and I'm going to let's add a noise texture, Ctrl T, and add the object coordinates. Connect this factor to the surface and make it bigger. Let's add a value node actually, right? Let's get that up. We need to add this material to all of these not flowers, just the grass. So let's go to geometry nodes, duplicate this one, this set material node, and add it for the grass. So as you can see, this is grass models. Shift D and add it right here. Okay, very good. And we need to realize the instances. So realize instances, add it right there. So the texture will, as you can see, it's seamlessly blending between them. And actually, yeah, just leave as is. Let's go back to shader editor and let's add color ramp. For the colors, what I'm going to use, let's use this color. This is the X value for it. As you can see, that is X value. For the other one, I'm going to use this color. This is X value for it. Very good. Yeah, we're starting to get there. As you can see, we're starting to get there. Details actually doesn't matter how many is detail, unless it looks good. Now we need to do the same thing. So Ctrl C for the flowers, Ctrl V, connect it to, and as you can see, that seamlessly blend between them kind of. They might need to be realized as instances. Let's try to realize. Shift D. Yeah, after realizing them, they're looking good, seamlessly blending between. I don't want to blend all of the base. I want just a little bit, and the other one to be dark green. So let's go select the flower again. Go to the shader editor. I know it seems to be a bit confusing, but anyways, I'm going to use a gradient texture to get like a gradient. Right now we can't use the object coordinate. Maybe let's use separate XYZ. Let's try. Okay, let's try to get like the Z value for these instances. Let's add a math node. So as you can see, the transition is really soft, as you can see. I don't want that. Use this gradient. Let's use mapping. And let's rotate it 90 degrees along the y-axis. And let's maybe rotate. That should be 90 here. Yeah, it should be 90. So anyways, let's move this up. Scale it in one of these axes that I don't know. Maybe the scale it more. Yeah, something like this. Yeah, that's pretty good. Scale it more like this. -1. Add a color ramp and make it ease to blend ease and move it down. And that will mix between this and a color ramp. And the factor is going to be this gradient texture. What we are going to blend between, like a really dark value of this. Let's see it. Yeah, this is the whole opposite of that, maybe. Yeah, it is what we need. Need to be a bit bright, maybe a bit gone. Very good. Maybe increase the scaling for it. And at any time you want, you can increase this, so you can. So as you can see, yeah, that feels good. That feels really good. So we are really blending between these. And for the water, so let's add water. For the texture that we are going to use here to act as a water, let's add emission first. Control T to add texture coordinate mapping, and let's search for this texture. And this is the texture. I know it's just a screenshot, but just use it. And I'm going to list from the view actually. Tap to go to edit mode, H6 everything, U, and project from the view. And let's open up a new window, and that will be UV editor. Now select these UVs and scale them accordingly. You can scale them, and you can select the water. Scale it again along the water. Make it fit. Something like this. Very good. Just move it up. That will look absolutely. And for this random color of these flowers, what I'm going to do, select that, go back to geometry nodes, and we are going to assign a random value. So let's add store named attribute, and we are going to use instances. For each instance, let's use a value. We're going to be a random value actually, from 0 to 1, and let's name it RC for random color and assign it. Very good. And let's go to shader editor for the flowers. Let's go to frame all. Let's press Ctrl V. As you can see, it detected that, as you can see. Pretty good. So now we have random colors. You can add how many colors that you like, and that will depend. And don't overdo this strength because, you know, make it weird. And now to animate these, so these leaves will wiggle, you know, wiggle like this. So what we are going to do, we are going to displace them. So for displacing them, let's go to the solid viewport. Let's get rid of this. Let's go to, we are going to distort it before realizing it. So Shift N, add set position node. And for the offset, we are going to use noise. And yeah, we need to subtract 0.5. Actually, let's use color. So subtract 0.5. I'm not going to use factor because factor is just a float value and color is a vector value actually. Let's connect that to the offset. And if I make it or scale it, let's do scale. If I scale the effect, as you can see, they are going to be, let's make this 4D. And as you can see, they are moving. But I want this to happen to a certain, so let's use the position, and use a separate XYZ node. And let's view this with these instances. So let's view that and see. So that's the selection. As you can see, it's selecting these. Let's add map range. Map. You can add color ramp. It's up to you. Okay. Connect that to the value. And now let's view that. Actually, you can add an add mat node. So you can move it up and down. As you can see, yeah, to add to the selection. And this map range will make it sharp, as you can see. Now, let's see by just wiggling it. Oh yeah, I haven't specified this to selection. Now let's wiggle it. I believe it is the opposite of what we want. Let's do 1, 0, or do the opposite, 1 here, 0 here, and 0 here, and 1 here. Let's go to the front view. Oh, it is, it's not moving. What? Where is the problem? It is a selection, so it's clamped. Maybe I need to clamp the other one, flip it 1. Maybe that scale is too much action. That's weird. It's going to make this really sharp, really sharp. And let's see, do anything. It doesn't do anything. Clamp it. Maybe I'm just going to leave it as is. They are just bouncing around. They're not staying to the ground. What's happening? Let's do 0. 0 is not doing anything. So 1, let's do the opposite. 0 here. Let's do 1 right there. Maybe there is not enough geometry to just do this. But anyways, we have them to wiggle a little bit. So they're wiggling. To animate this, I'm just going to add hashtag frame. And let's divide it by a certain number, like 80. Yeah, something like that. Pretty slow. Let's go to, looks really good. We need just some lighting because we are in the final rendered. Let's add a light. Let's do sunlight. And move it to a certain collection. Let's name a light. And let's make it, actually, it looks good right out of the bat. This water is just, actually you can create a real water if you like, but you know, I like this texture. Seems to be good. So stylize them. We could actually do like clipping, camera clipping, so anything outside of the camera will disappear like these to save some performance. But yeah, it looks good. Now we need to add some like wavy with shaders. So first, let's add a plane. Okay, let's go to X mode and rotate it 90 degrees along the x-axis, and let's scale along the x-axis. Add some loop cuts like this. Select that, move it like this, move it like so, something like that. And let's add to it a material. Let's go to the shader editor. Let's call it wind. And for its shader, it's just pretty simple. Let's add an emission. And then let's add a noise texture. And let's connect the factor to a color ramp. Let's make it constant. Connect it to the emission. Control T to add texture coordinates and mapping. And let's make sure we are using the object coordinates. You can scale it up. Select this object, Control A, apply all the transforms. You can add to it a subdivision surface to make it smooth. Add a loop cut right there. And let's squeeze it. So squeeze it also in the axis and scale it up and make it look. And let's add a transparent PSTF. Connect these together and connect this as a factor. And make sure this material is sets to, for the blend mode, it sets to alpha clip. Maybe let's do alpha clip. Seems to be good. Alt S to flip these inputs. Stretch this more. Also make a few of these. Pretty good. From the camera view, looks really good. Okay, you can Alt D to duplicate it, scale it down, rotate it. Even though it's gonna feels inverted, there is a random value here. Oh no, there is no random value. Anyways, we can actually animate this. Where is the location? Let's animate its X location. Let's do hashtag frame and divide it also by 80 maybe. Let's see. We play it. Maybe that's a little bit slow. Let's do 50 by half of that value. Maybe let's animate. Yeah, the y-axis seems to be good. Let's animate the y-axis. Hashtag frame. Divide it by 50. Maybe let's divide it by 2 because that speeds a lot slower. Yeah, that looks good. That looks really good. You can duplicate these how many you like, you know. You can actually rotate. You can apply all the transforms. Select that. rotate it, duplicate it, scale it down, move it, rotate it. Yeah, it feels good. Duplicate this, stretch it maybe. That looks good. From this angle, it will looks. Yeah, maybe that's too much. That's too much of these. Too much, yeah. These are thick, really thick. So let's play with that. Looks really good. You can actually play with the details if you like. That will make it better. That made it better. But you'll notice we have problems. Shadows. So select all of these. Basically select all of them. Also this one. Go to the material, hold Alt, click on opaque, switch it to none. And all of them will be will not cast any shadows. So they are not going to interact with the light anymore. So yeah, this feels good. Now what we need to do some compositing, and later on we will render it and call it a day. So basically first restrict the camera, restrict it with this passport too, and now let's switch it to the compositor, and let's switch that to always. Right away we have some compositing going on because I have this. If you haven't watched the video where I set up my blend file, just go there, watch it, and you will save a lot of time every time you open Blender. For the vignette, let's make it subtle. Let's give it a bit of a blur, and yeah, we need lens distortion. Let's do dispersion a little bit, a bit of dispersion. We need a bit of noise. We could add that in post-product in DaVinci. Yeah, that feels good. And let's add some colder tones. Let's add some greeneries and a bit of yellow. That feels good. With the detail or quality nodes, let's increase the sharpness. And later on, what we are going to add, let's add Kawahara node. Kawahara node will space it up. So Kawahara, and let's switch it from classic to anisotropic. Sharpness to 1, this one also to. I don't know what this one do. So let's hover over it and say what it's doing. Control how directional the filter is. 0 means the filter is completely omnidirectional, while 2 means it is maximally directed along the edges of the image. Yeah, that's pretty good. 2. And now it's gonna be good. So let's go to the render properties. EV, make sure we have EV. Render samples, let's do 5. Let's hover in the 3D viewport, hold Z, go to the wireframe because it's rendering faster, F12, and let's see the result that we are going to get. Oh my, I haven't turned off these. So let's turn off everything except our grassland. So yeah, basically it. Give it a second. Turn off this render. And also turn off freestyle. Yeah, turn off freestyle. Render out again. Oh. I just did a mistake. We need the path, we need the pond. We don't need the other ones. Render out again. Yay, that's it. Yeah, pretty good. And what you need to do actually is to play with the camera angle. Maybe that looks good. Yeah, that really looks like a wallpaper. Yeah, oh my god, that looks amazing. Maybe the Kawahara now and the sharpness is a bit more. Yeah, but anyways, yeah, that looks amazing. That looks really amazing. Actually, the quality nodes is overkill. Let's apply some depth of field, and let's do a lower value like 0.8. 0.8. Yeah, there is 0.8. And let's select like this, like the pond. Let's do the, yeah. Oh my god, that looks amazing. It looks really amazing. Yeah, like a tilt shift. You can increase this to see further. Yeah, like so. Let's add the slot number 2, render out again and see how it's gonna look. Yeah, I forgot something. Guys. I forgot the shadow of this. So let's do the shadow. Let's do the shadow. Let's do the shadow of this because I forgot about it. Let's select this. Go to texture painting. And let's go to the texture edit, the shader editor. In the ground, let's add image texture, new. Let's name it shadow. Let's leave it 2K, and voila, that's it. And let's paint. Actually, turn off all of these. Select the grassland. Actually, turn off. Now we can paint, yeah. And let's go to the textures. Shift F, and just paint. Tab out. Go to object mode. Now we need to add this. Oh, we need to add it to the Control T. So here's what we are going to do. We are going to use it as a mask to mix between two of these, and this one will have hue saturation value node applied to it, like hue saturation. What? Connect this to the color and join these or mix them together using the factor, which is gonna be this color. Nothing's happening. We need a color ramp, and we need to reduce this value for this one. So as you can see, that looks good. You can leave it as like this. As you can see, we have okay. And another thing that I'm going to do, let's disable this for switch to texture painting mode, and let's add another texture. Remove this. Let's name it let's do soil. Let's do soil, whatever, or sand. Let's do sand. Actually, sand is a better name for it. So sand, and here make sure you are painting on the sand texture. Go to the top view by pressing numpad 7, and let's paint. Yeah, a texture painting mode, and so just paint like this. I know it's a bit hard, so hold and drag so you can paint easily. Sandy around your, yeah, something like this. And now let's go back to the material preview. Go to your camera. This is gonna act like a mix. Use the UVs, and let's take a sandy color. Let's see. Ooh, that's good. A bit sandy and bright. Let's add a color ramp actually, and one of these colors should be, so play with this. As you can see, we have created like sand effect. Yeah, I hope you can see it in YouTube. But anyways, let's go to, looks good. That looks really good actually. Save this, and now, and actually what you need to do, because we did this, you need to save these textures. So let's go to the texture image editor, select every one of these, and just, or you can just go to file, external, and pack resources, and all these will be packed within the blend file. Just to make sure, to check, just go to shader editor. There is an icon should be up. Let's save them. Image as anything else. What is that? Oh yeah, that's the break. Something about the world lighting that I have missed is the world. So let's go to the world, and I'm going to use world lighting. That looks really good. Oh my, move this down, duplicate this, Shift D, and beside this, select this camera, and let's press Ctrl Alt Z. Oh, that's good. We have some weird stuff going on. Don't worry about it. Yeah, it looks good. It looks good. So let's go back to Compositor. Let's connect this through. Let's do it like this. Let's do brightness and contrast. Use this white color. Yes, something is. Let's do a render. Let's do a test render. Let's go to slot number 4. Let's do a test render. Yeah, that looks good. It really looks good. Amazing. I like it. I like it. So we moved on from this to this to this. This one looks like a miniature. This one, yeah. This one looks amazing. Maybe the camera. Let's go to the world, set it down. Anyways, it's up to you. It's really up to you. You can actually just leave it as is, as this, and voila. Thanks guys for watching this video. I hope you understand a bit more how to create like a Ghibli style scene for yourself. And yeah, voila, that's it. Hope you like it. Make sure to subscribe and leave a like and comment, and share this video with your friends. So, salam.